I noticed recently I've been making quite a few wreath cards, and I'm a big fan of wreaths anyway, especially because you can make them for any season. You know, you can make a Christmas wreath, you can do spring like this one, you could do autumnal, every different occasion you can have a lovely wreath for. So I thought I would do a quick video showing how I lay out a wreath to get a nice arrangement around the circle. And this goes perfectly with my two Crafti potential die sets. I've used the double stitched rectangle from the Fleur set and the wonky stitched / straight stitched circle from the Floral set to create my panel. And I did this on both of these cards actually. You can't really see the stitching left on this one, but I did. Yeah, so I've started with a panel like this, and I thought I'd show you how I've created this wreath because I had quite a few die cuts left over. And so for all of the foliage for this wreath I've used this die, which is from the Lawn Fawn Large Wreath die set, which came out last Christmas. And I really love this sort of modern foliage look. So I have cut out, I think I cut that die 3 times, so that's 12 little branches, which is a really good number to go around a circle. Then I think for this card I'm going to go with yellow, orange and pink for the flowers rather than blue, purple and pink as I did there. So I spent, oh, I could add purple in actually. Ooh, purple might look good. Okay, I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I spent a load of time the other evening cutting loads of my flower dies from the Floral set, mostly the small ones and the small leaves, and I also did some of the circle stars from the Dots and Stars die set as well, just in front of the telly using my little prism die cutting machine, because it's really nice to have these on hand. Like, it's so boring to sit and die cut when you just want to get on with making the project, so I thought I'd have a lot of these ready so I can show lots of different ways of using them. So I'm just digging through, finding some different sizes of the different colours of flowers that I think I might want to use. And I'm just using the 2 smaller sizes, and I haven't used any of the leaves in this design because that's why I've added in these little Lawn Fawn branches. I'm making a mess now. I think I want another yellow one. I always think it's nice to have 3 of a specific colour or size of something and spreading them out around the design. I don't know why, but I always think that every card I make following that I really like. So you see I've got 3 yellows, 3 pinks, then I might go with 3 oranges. This wreath might end up having more flowers on than the other wreath because I haven't got the mushrooms and things. Come on, where's another baby orange? Well, I could have a big orange actually. Let's use a big orange one. So there's 3 pink, 3 yellow, 3 orange, and then I think I'm going to go with 5 purple because I like either an odd or even number, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that makes 6. We could do use this one. So 5 purple, but maybe change one of these for a smaller pink flower, and then have a small little light purple one if I cut in with them. Can't remember what I cut out of what colours now. I hope I cut some small purple, some light purple in this one. I probably should have found all my flowers before I started filming. I don't think I did cut any. Okay, maybe I'll go with the... I'll go with that. So I need to snip a bit off this one. Obviously didn't die cut it properly. There we go. Perfect. So these are the flowers I'm going to use, and then I've got all my foliage ready as well. This is going to make more of a summery themed wreath, which is nice. I really like these colours together actually. Okay, so I'm going to build up the base of my wreath, and I like it when this part of the leaf overlaps the base of the previous leaf, so if you build it anti-clockwise, it works better. My favourite kind of glue for this sort of thing is the Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue. This is a really old bottle, but it dries completely clear and matte as well, so if it squidges out the side you can't really tell that it's there, whereas some glues dry really shiny, but this dries nice and matte, and I've got it in a Woodwear fine tip applicator bottle. So you don't have to make these too secure, like going on every little piece of the branch, but you just want, and it doesn't matter if the glue squidges out like it has done there, because you might stick a flower over it, or it'll just dry matte anyway. So you just want to build up the base of the wreath first. And we've got 12 of these, remember, so we can build up, like, I like to sort of go around once and then add in some extras, but it is quite nice to have the sticky out ones on the lower layer as well. So if you sort of tilted this one out, then the next time you come round, you put the other one following round there, if that makes any sense. Okay. We'll have that one there. So you're basically just filling in the design, just to make a nice full looking wreath. And don't worry if areas look a little bit lumpy shaped, because you can just stick a flower over that part, which is really nice and an easy way to solve it. Stick that one up there, and I've got 2 left, so one here and one to fill this in a bit more. I think it looks better when the wreath is a bit asymmetrical as well. It just gives, I think it looks nicer on the eye, rather than having a completely symmetrical wreath. And you can even, like, I think that needs a little bit there, but it doesn't need a whole branch, so you can snip into them. Just add a small extra piece, just hide it behind a leaf that's already there, just to make that bush out a bit more. And then we could add this piece, maybe there. Okay, so perfect. So that's the base of our wreath, and that was created cutting this 3 times. So it's really, this is a much more, or much less time consuming way than if you were to, say, cut out the leaves to create the base of the wreath, because die cutting them, you'd have to die cut them like 30 times or something, so just doing that 3 times is such a time saver. And there's also a die set called Berry Sprig that is designed by Sue Wilson, which works really nicely for this technique as well, and I've used it in the past, but I just fancied using the Lawn Fawn one this time. Okay, so we've done that. Now the next step is to shape your flowers a little bit. Now I'm just going to do really basic shaping. All I do is put it in the palm of my hand, squish it with the Tonic ball tool, flip it over, squish the back of each petal, and then flip it back over and press the middle again. And then you just got a little bit of curve to it. That's how I like to do mine. And the card I've used for the flowers The light purple and the orange is Tonic Craft Perfect textured card, which is 216 GSM, and the pink, yellow, oh no, the yellow's Tonic as well. I've just cut it on the other side. The pink and the purple are Creative Expressions Foundations card, and that is 240 GSM, I think. So, yeah, basically we just want to shape all of the rest of the flowers. It goes really quickly. I mean, you could do this part in front of the telly as well if you wanted. You could spend one evening die cutting a load of flowers and another evening shaping them so they're all ready for your projects. And I mean, this is if you're doing all the die cutting in front of the telly, this is quite a good card to batch make, and you could even make a set of cards, one for each season, you know, to give to someone as a present, which would be really neat. This one I'm just going to squish in the middle because it's really tiny, so it doesn't really need much shaping on it. And I think I'm just going to, I don't know if this is going to look too crowded with all of these flowers on, but I'm just going to sort of place them down to begin with, and then I will fiddle around with the placement just to get them how I want them to look. So I'm thinking a pink one, and you kind of want to balance the colour around the wreath, so you don't want to have all three dark purple ones in one place. You want to kind of space them out a little bit, same with the turquoise and the pink on this card. So if we're going by that rule, we kind of want to put this one here, and again we want to balance the yellow, then we need to balance the orange, so we could have that one there, and finally that one there. I think that looks really nice. And then creating the frame this way, working around an aperture, you can then create a shaker in the background if you want to as well. So this one was using some Spellbinders stamps that I used to create the wreath, but it's the same idea that you're just going around the circle aperture. But so yeah, so you could make it into a shaker if you want, or this one I just raised up the panel and added a background behind, and then a cute little deer from my Woodland Friends stamp set. So the next step is to stick all the flowers on. So I just do a blob of glue. Can you see? Oh, it's not going to focus. Blob of glue on the back, and then put it in place, just trying to press the centre so that you don't stick down the entire flower. You want the petals to still be free to give a little bit of dimension. And if you think your card has become too dimensional, you can always create a box to put it in rather than just putting it in an envelope, or you can just hand deliver it instead of like putting it through the mail or post. Okay. Keeps getting blocked. Okay, so just adding on all the flowers. I think it's quite nice to have one dark colour, especially I usually stamp images like the critters on, like the deer, and sentiments and stuff in black, so having a darker colour within your wreath is quite nice because it balances that out really. You're not going everything's light tones and then you're suddenly using black. So there we have our wreath with all of our flowers. Now I'm really liking using gems in the centre, although I have got some white pearls here as well. In this one I used the white AB finish ones. Well, they might be the ivory ones actually, I'm not sure now. I've muddled them up. but I could use pearls on this one. Yeah, I think I will. So I'm going to use these white pearls. So I just like to place enough down where they're going to go first. So I know I've got enough out. And I'm going to use a bigger size for the bigger flower. Okay, so I know a lot of people like to use the sticky pick-up tool things to pick things up, but I can't bother with all that, and so I just press my finger on it and pick it up. So, there we have it, a quick and simple way of building a wreath and my little tips that I like to use. So that's my summary version that we just made with the pearls in the centres of the flowers. And that's my spring example, and then this is the same kind of idea but using stamps to create the frame. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, bye.